Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flickering Torch. And on today's stream, we are playing Blades in the Dark, Red Herrings. I totally didn't almost say Knights Black Agents. This is the second stream. We stream every Monday night at 7:30 British Standard Time, or Greenwich Mean Time. I think we are currently, right? That's how the time zones work.
We are indeed.
I'll figure out time at one stage, I'm sure. Uh, this is our Blades in the Dark stream. We had a really great time on our first stream, but I will hand it over to Jordan now because he is our games master. So, Jordan, please take it away.
Yes, good evening, everybody. We'll start, I guess, as we normally do, with going around. We'll start with James tonight. James, tell us a bit about who your character is.
So, I play Giscard Reventloff, otherwise known as Aztec. He's a leech. He is our saboteur and technician, a former academic. There was a small incident with an automatic peanut sheller that resulted in the loss of a building at the university. They quietly asked me to leave.
Ironically, our technician for the game, his tech has broken, and that is why he doesn't have a webcam this stream.
Maybe that might be the case, yes.
The peanut sheller strikes again.
So next we'll go to Ben. Introduce your character, please.
I'm playing Aldrich Booker. He's this kind of really bad womanizer, as in he can't womanize for shit, but he really wants to try and do it. Kind of a sleazy dealer. He's very much into the kind of depths of Duskfall, and he's been kicked out of pretty much all the gangs, and now he's tried his own one.
Very nice. Seems to be going very well so far, from what I can hear. Addison, we'll go to you next. Please introduce yourself.
My name's Addison. I'm from the Pod of Many Things, and I'm a regular cast member now. I'm going to keep plugging that. And I play the cutter. Oh, that was terrible. That's another goal for this stream, by the way, to have a decent Russian accent by the end.
To go along with your Czechoslovakian and all other accents that you have.
So yeah, I play Olin Welker, the cutter of our group, and I know that things have been difficult because I've been threatening young women, but it is necessary for the job. Do not. Yeah, it's just terrible. I'm trying. I'm sorry.
I'm more about your tactics last session. I blanked them from my memory.
We're remembering now, aren't we?
Olin Welker is a former soldier for the losing side of the war, a bit like the brown coats from Firefly, and he's found himself in this like criminal underworld because they saved him from smelling of piss in a gutter somewhere.
Yes, indeed they did. And finally, we'll go for Sean. Please introduce us to your character.
I'm playing Baron Silas Greenback. He's dabbles in spotting the unusual. Do you see how well there are creatures kept out from it? They're ghosts, critters from the night. And that such things should never be tampered with, should be feared. My character loves them. He embellishes them and actually wants them to take over this world, but that's a story for another time.
Very good, very good. So, I guess finally, I'll ask what events unfolded in our previous meeting, chaps? Did it all go smoothly and well and no complications?
The revolution is going
Badger's testicles.
Well, essentially what happened is we began on this train to which we were assailed, and I think, frankly, we were assailed unjustly.
Yes.
For Aldrich's, I dabbled in a poker game and I might have stolen some money, and we might have been chased off the train.
Wrongly accused
of cheating. And then we met up with this little orphan boy who we were all... I think we were quite rude too, from memory.
We didn't like him. We instantly dismissed the child.
Who decided that he wanted us to go see his friend who works at, another gang.
One thing for a small child to ask us to go with him, but if we were to ask it to come with us, can you imagine? Horrendous.
Sean, let's not go down that.
Oh, God. It's all going
That'll
off
be
the rails
for
again.
D&D 5th edition coming out next year.
We went to... Oh, sorry. I keep jumping in and out of the accent.
Go on.
We went to this little pub. Behind the bar was a lovely, eloquent darling lady who directed us to our new employer, who I decided I had a flashback with, and that flashback turned out quite negative in that he wanted to punch all my teeth out. But we knew him, and we knew his name. And now he wants us to steal a...
Spirit charm. Your savage voodoo. I do not like
from the Dimmer sisters, who are like this reclusive gang of like nuns or something. And
not very bright.
Midway through this heist, we pulled a massive fucking gun on two of them.
You most certainly did that, didn't you?
I would also like to point out that I managed to get all information we need for heist, including troop numbers, general layout of address, and these.
All right, there, Stalin. We only needed to know where.
Mate, but you did do that by beating up a little girl.
Just to clarify, by the way, because it was mentioned before, all of these girls that I've mentioned before, they're all like late teens. They're like 19, 20-year-olds. They're not like young children.
In
That's
Scotland,
a good
we
distinction to
respect
make.
our women. If they choose to be on battlefield, we treat them like man.
So they're 19 or 20-year-old women that we're smashing up against the wall. That makes it okay. Carry on. Perfectly all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Anyway, shall we jump back into...
In fairness, it does make it less bad, but not much less.
No, on the scale of things, it's okay. Coming out next year in a 5th edition book near you. Carry on.
Wonderful. So, shall we jump back into it, gents? Because I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. So we start this session, I shall say, right from the second where we left off the last one, which is we were in 20 Song Streets, which was infiltrated quite stealthily by our group. They were looking for this spirit charm that they knew was here, and they knew very detailed floor plan, and they knew how many people were going to be there. Initially, it was going very well until, well, we'll pick it up with Grizcard holding two of them at gunpoint whilst they scream the place down, and Aldrich in the bedroom having just broken the little key that opens the chest where they know the charm to be. Gentlemen.
So I'm going to throw straight out there with a flashback.
Go on then. What's your flashback?
So this flashback is to myself and other members of the faculty teaching, and the two that are standing at the top of the stairs screaming are in the classes, conversing with the teachers, being general students. Flashback to the present. I would recognize them and call them by name, and so I shout, "Tilly, Annabelle, is that you? No one's seen you at the university for months. Where have you been?"
They'll both at this point take one stress for that, James, please.
Yeah.
Just because that wasn't a difficult action, but I'll take that. Just take the stress. They'll both at this point stop their screaming and they'll look at you again, sort of curiously. It's quite dimly lit, so they are sort of at this point. You're still holding a blunderbuss at them. Remember this.
Oh yeah, no, I realise that.
Have we got the sacks on our heads from last week as well?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe you're all wearing masks.
Yeah.
That was another comment. So
And
they are.
I will say we haven't seen you. You haven't been seen around the university for a couple of months now. You were on the Artificers 101 course, weren't you? Along with another girl you used to hang around with, Phoebe, I think it was.
One of them at this point, I think the one you addressed as Tilly, looks down at the unconscious young woman on the stairs that you knocked out before, recognizing her, I guess, as Phoebe.
Indeed.
Again, they're still pretty, this isn't diffusing the situation completely. They're just still holding a gun at them.
I said, that is you, isn't it? And I will lower this towards us. So it's down, but not away.
They'll relax, sort of, but they're like, what the...
Can I add to the scene? You can hear the faint banging of a chest against a bed frame.
You just hear my thick Scottish accent, like, "Move out of the way, you're not doing it correctly," and the banging gets louder.
Something
They're
you
still
were
looking at
good
this guy at this point.
Say again, Sean.
I thought that was something you were good at. I thought you could open that.
Just a quick question for the GM then. Where is everybody at this point? So Gizcard's on the balcony looking down. Are you all, the rest of you, in the bedroom?
Yeah, we are.
I
yeah.
followed. I
Yeah.
followed. Yeah.
I did try
followed,
and coax them all in, and then one of them pulled out a massive fucking gun.
Yes, they
We
did,
were
didn't they?
trying to initially hide as the other character went out onto the landing, but obviously things have taken a little bit of a turn for the worse. So I think we're in a bit more of a hurry up mode. So get it open, get the box open for God's sake.
So at this point, the only character that these two young women can see is Giscard. They can
Yep.
hear noises coming from the bedroom, but they can't see anyone. So they're just sort of, what the? They're very sort of stuttery.
And as they're sort of stuttering, I shall carry on with. Did you leave the university to come and join whatever this is?
Well, we wasn't going to get anywhere, was we?
You were all doing fairly well. Why did you? What made you leave?
They sort of both look down at this point. Just, oh. Again, we weren't getting. They just offered us too much hard work. We didn't want to work hard.
You wouldn't have joined an artificer's course if you wouldn't want to work hard.
What can I say? Fucking family traditions, innit?
I am fucking telling you, fucking hit it on the corner. Like,
Oh wait! I would like to get something out of my equipment, if that's okay.
Go on.
I would like to get out my demolition tools.
I've got a burglar's kit.
I've got like bolt cutters that I just like take up.
Take those off on your sheet, and yes, you now have bolt cutters.
Is a spirit key, isn't there, that you can use?
A spirit charm.
Spirit to open something, is that right?
Not a key. It's it's like a sort of, imagine like a crucifix, but for
Oh,
spirit.
right. Okay. Was there something in the equipment list for a skeleton key, if I remember reading it right, or something?
You'd have to check.
I think he's got a spirit key that opens spirit doors and spirit
Oh,
locks,
okay,
but I don't think it works
yeah.
on regular.
No, I don't think
doors.
it's-
No, that doesn't. Yeah, that spirit key will work.
I'll
It's out of that
just
bench,
let you
right?
know, not all spirit charms. I know you're bashing the box. I'll just say quietly. Obviously, you may not hear me over the shouting. They can be brittle. Just not throw that in.
I'm gonna try and like jimmy the bolt cutters in between the lock and then just like snip the lock.
Excellent. I'm not going to make you roll for that. It's bolt cutters. It can open the chest. So the chest is open. So you look inside it, and you can see it's nothing immediately obvious. It's a chest with some clothes on it. But rummaging around, you do find this item that you believe to be described. It's the only thing of real interest in this box, and it's sort of a. Second.
Just get up. Let's get out. We
So,
got
yeah.
it. Let's go.
Small. It's sort of like it's not. It was described to you before as like a rare charm, and you can definitely tell that this one's not typical of thing. Like spirit charms are quite premium in Duskfall. They are sold, and they're manufactured there. But this one especially is not like one you would be familiar with. It's got very strange sort of runic design to it. It's definitely a charm. It's of the same shape of what you would remember, but it's definitely unique in some way.
Is it the charm we're looking for?
It's the only. Again, this is where you were told it was, and this is what the.
Let's get out of here. Let's go.
I would like to do a flashback at this point.
If we let James finish his scene on the staircase,
Yeah, that'd be good.
might be good.
Okay.
Might be a good idea.
I kind of want this to happen at the same time he's trying to convince the girls, though.
We'll let you do your flashback then, and then we'll cut back to James at this point after you've done your flashback.
So, we flash back to about a week ago, where I'm talking to, I was a ferryman. I kind of had to work with this guild who did all the, like, taxiing of people around. So they had ferries, but they also had, like, horses and carts and stuff. And I'm talking to 3 of the guys, and I ask them how much they think a horse and cart can pull. And basically, I've set up on the side of this building with hooks going to these like 4 horses and carts on the wall so that we can basically pull the brickwork off the wall and jump out of the side of the building. And I would like to be able to whistle so that I can summon those guys to pull the side of this building off. Because I imagine this is quite a rickety, slummy building. So
It's a little excessive.
just to see how successful you would have been in convincing them and how good the setup that they would have done, can I just ask you to make a roll, obviously, Ben? It'll be consort. You'd be consorting with these two gentlemen to achieve this action. So
I would love to roll consort.
We cannot go through front door, Olin. That is too obvious. That is too chaotic. This would not work. Like, this is what you say to me.
That's double ones.
Oh no.
no such thing as a crit fail in Blades in the Dark, but I think that's about as close as you can get. So yeah, you what we have in this flashback moment is you do
Horses die.
Yeah, we get solved complete rotted.
you consult with these two, and it's not really going that well, unfortunately. You're having to convince them that it's basically you're not having a very good job at convincing them. They're not convinced by what. So unfortunately, what you've had to do is you've had to basically say to them that they will receive monetary compensation for what they're about to do to you. So
Okay.
because of this, you'll have one less coin from this heist.
I don't know how
Because
much we were getting paid before, though. So
Whatever you get paid, -1.
excellent. That's fine. That's fine.
So again, the action can still happen. So they've been promised. We've got this signal arranged. So we'll cut back to the present, and we'll be on the stairs with Giscard.
Okay. So, where were we? Yeah, so I was telling them that their grades were doing well and they needn't resort to a life of crime. They can come back to the university, have their places back. I'll have a word with the staff to guarantee them their places back as long as they stop doing this.
Wait, no. Hang on a minute. One of them cuts you off at this point. She starts stomping upstairs. Like, hey, you broke into our fucking house, and now you're just telling us that we can let bygones be bygones. What the fuck are you doing in our house?
At that point, can I whistle for the carts to start pulling?
You hear a whistle then from the bedroom, and then it's sort of another sort of whistle from outside, and then all of a sudden there is this horrendous creaking noise, as which it would have been set up at the back of the house, I presume.
Yeah.
So yeah, from the back of the house, then at this point, you can just hear this horrendous creaking, crumbling noise as the back wall of the bedroom just disappears. There's obviously a loud crash. It shakes the property, quite frankly. Like the girl on the stairs. There's one girl on the stairs now with the unconscious girl, and they're both she sort of loses her balance and starts to fall down. The other one sort of shakes as well. She doesn't know what's going on, so she sort of darts to the side, protecting her head. You've got a second to react, Giscard.
The black lamps. Stop rushing for the exit.
I don't particularly need to do anything. I was going to try and convince these three to go back to university rather than live a life of crime, but obviously they don't want to.
Well, currently the house is crumbling around you, so you've got a time.
As the wall gets pulled away, Aldrich turns to Orlin and just goes, "All right, I will admit I may have gone a bit far."
I will also reiterate my previous statement. Then the house is crumbling.
Yeah,
how much stress did I have to take for that flashback?
Just one stress for that.
Excellent.
Is the whole house giving up, or is it just
is there
the
a
back
car?
wall that's giving up?
You've pulled off a load-bearing wall on a terrace house. The whole place is now unstable.
What's below?
The
Floor.
street.
Is there anything down that we can jump onto?
It's sort of an alleyway. There's nothing obvious that you could jump on, but it's also like it's not going to be tremendously high. It's probably about 10 foot total.
Yeah, we're only on the first floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to jump out the window.
Yeah, I'm going out. I'll take the risk.
Cool.
So
you all...
I've got the spirit charm, by the way.
Yeah.
that's
You
cool.
did get the thing that you want.
Probably take the more altruistic route. Grab the one who's at the top of the stairs and run down the stairs to help the ones at the bottom of the stairs.
Right.
Lights forever.
So they're off out the back, and you're helping these three.
I'm going to run down the stairs and then to the back.
Right. So you're just going to make sure that they're okay before you leave.
Yeah.
They're very distracted at this point. Again, there's loud noise. It's crumbling. It's sort of there's floorboards obviously.
One of them's unconscious, so they're going to give him a hand with that one. So
I
Right.
just wanted to break down
There's
door. You
sort of-
break down wall. How is this fair?
So yeah, we see Giscard sort of running down the stairs. They're kind of both of the girls are quite distracted at this point. They're not really sure what's going on, but you do sort of coerce them down with their companion, leave them there, and then you are out the back door. Back as well.
I would make sure they're out the back as well because the building's fucking coming down.
Okay, yeah. So you're going to take them with you out, and then you're going to leave them there, I guess, or are you?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tell them to stay put and to remember that the best way to help themselves out of following in the not necessarily the greatest footsteps of their forebears is via education.
Cool. Are you still wearing a mask at this point?
Yes.
Cool. Right. So they would hear that from you.
And that next week, if they go back to the university, they can pick up their course again, and I'll have words with people in the meantime.
Okay. So that all happens, and then I guess as you're heading off, you leave the two sort of tending to their friend, and one of them just calls after you as you disappear. I'm going, thank you. And that endeth our first score, gentlemen. So
Not bad.
briefly, we'll have a brief scene with you guys back in the Devil's Tooth Tavern. You meet up again with Narcus from the Path of Echoes, and you present with him the charm.
Easy peasy, governor. There you go.
He looks at it and he goes, now that is what I'm talking about, gents.
And we only had to pull down one house to get it.
I heard about that. Maybe in the future. I told you before how you were. You knew when to keep your heads down, and you knew when to assert yourselves. Maybe keep your heads down a bit more.
It's all right. It's all right, Narcos. The Black Lamps did it. Don't worry about it.
Right. Well, here we go.
You just see Orlan like stropping in the corner, like, go through front door is ridiculous. They say, go through front door, go fight, threaten some people. They bring down whole building. I do not understand this. He's actually like in the middle of like the thing, like having like a little bit of a rant.
You squatting back and forwards.
Yeah.
Across the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same bar girl from before is just every time you walk past the bar, she takes the empty tankard that you've dropped there and fills it up and puts it back. And then when you walk back across the bar, you pick it up again. And then you go back and empty again. And she keeps doing that. She fills it up a few times for you.
How much are you paying us for this job, Narcos?
Well, he sort of pulls out a little sort of leather pouch and drops it on the table in front of you. There you go. Mechanically,
Reach
we
out
will
and
now
count.
do the sort of phase that we do before downtime, which is the payoff. So first of all, you'll get reputation from this score as a crew. You get 2 reputation as standard. You will also get 2 more because you attacked a gang who were of a higher tier than you. Specifically, they are tier 2, so they're 2 tiers higher than you. So you will get 2 more reputation.
Oh fuck! Oh no!
We didn't just attack them. We
Basically,
literally pulled the house down on
what
them.
tier you are.
So that was 4 reputation all in all.
You got 4 reputation. You also then get coin, obviously, as a group. You can decide, like, mechanically, you can do certain things with coin. Again, if you have any questions about how to use coin, I will answer them. We'll say it's a normally standard-sized amount of loot. A standard score will net you 6 coin. However, you've got -1, unfortunately, because of the slight mishap with the gentleman who set up your escape. So it'll be 5 coin total for the group.
I think we needed that escape. That was good.
Feel free to divide that up how you want.
It felt a bit overkill, but yeah, sure.
Who's gonna fuck with the gang who will literally pull their ass down?
So yeah, you've got 5 coin as a group. Obviously, feel free to divvy that up how you want. If you want to keep it as a group or keep it as subversonal, that's fine. The next thing we'll do as part of the ending of a heist is heat. How much heat did you garner as a group?
Now let's see if this is better than lobbing a grenade.
Probably not a lot because we rely on black lamps.
No.
We don't need heat, so we're all right.
Is this
So,
better than pulling
I
out a weapon in a crowded tourist area and shooting someone across the square? Let's see if it gets more heat than that.
Yeah.
Cool.
that's-
So we'll go for this, guys. There's a few. We'll do starting heat, and then we do additional for anything else that was involved. So smooth and quiet, 0 heat. Contained, loud and chaotic,
Yeah.
or wild and devastating. How would you
Loud
describe
and chaotic.
Loud and
Definitely loud and
chaotic.
Loud and
chaotic.
I mean,
chaotic,
it was
right.
devastating because a building come down. But yeah.
Well, wild and devastating would normally mean something like you had to leave early because you were all about to die. It wasn't quite that bad, so I'll let you off on that.
I would argue 0 casualties. That's clean.
Well, that's the thing. So you get we'll go with 4 as standard. +1 if they were a high profile or well connected target. The Dimmer sisters were quite recluse, so probably not that well connected, and people knew about them, but not a lot about them. +1 if it happened on hostile turf. It did. This was essentially their base that you were targeting. 1 if you're at war with them, which you are not, and 2 if killing was involved. Unfortunately, you didn't kill anyone, so you don't get the +2. So you will take for that a total of 5 heat.
I never intended to kill
shit.
anybody, but yeah.
And
So
now,
we took 4 rep. We took 4 rep and 5 heat. Yeah.
4 rep and 5 heat. Do you know what we do? when we roll heat?
Is that rep going up or down?
It's reputation. You're gaining reputation as a gang
And is that on the gang sheet or my sheet?
on the gang sheet. I can fill that in. I'm happy to.
Yeah,
I think you're the only one who's got a copy of that, if I'm honest with you.
I think it went quite well, gentlemen. Actually, to be honest, I was quite
I am
impressed.
dropping all of my notes.
The only
I have
thing
not
I'm
got
a
enough desk space.
bit- I'm a bit confused about is what was going on the landing. It sounded like you were trying to chat up those women out there.
They are some fairly bright former students of the university, and they were on one of the courses that I tutored, but they disappeared a few months back. Nobody knew where they'd went. And didn't know no message as to why they disappeared. Now I know why. They've been inducted into the Dimmer Sisters, it would appear. So
You're not casualties of your peanut desheller.
no.
In
there
fairness,
weren't
mate,
many
you have
casualties
also
of that,
joined
other
the
than about
gang.
half a ton of peanuts, for the purpose of being shelled. But no, they disappeared, and no one knew where they'd gone. No one could find them. No one saw them. Turns out
You think
they've
they
been working
recognised you?
here. I doubt it. They were only on one of my courses. I tuition I did, and there was only one of their curriculum. Should I say? I think that's the right word. There was only one of the courses that they took, so they only saw me maybe once a week. So I was a background to their academic life, but they disappeared. But they were doing well, and it'd be a shame to have lost them as students.
I think you may see them again at some time.
Quite possibly, and hopefully they're doing well.
Especially
in
if
their
they are
academic
pissed off
studies.
at us. Especially if they're pissed off at us because we pulled down their fucking house.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
I shall
when
direct
we
them
left,
to the
to
proponent
our
of that
credit,
idea.
when we left, it was almost standing.
Excellent. Speaking of which, the other thing that we do after we gain heat, guys, is we roll entanglements. Things that can happen following a score that could present complications. In this case, I have rolled for entanglements, and the one that's come up is questioning.
I have a
So,
blunderbuss. I can make
Bluecoats-
this go away.
The Bluecoats have got wind of this destruction of this house in Song Street.
Not
And
surprising.
they have taken into custody for questioning a contact of one of the party. If anybody would like to volunteer a contact, then
What about Sarah
one of
Seller,
the-
the
one of the
gang member
yes,
that we dated?
Sarah Seller. They've taken her in for questioning, and basically they want to know what she knows. And now you can either decide. By the way, I roll what they call a fortune roll, which is a roll that I make to determine how an outcome that you are not directly involved in comes out. Or you can decide to forego this by paying the Bluecoats 2 coin to
No,
forego the witness that they've picked up.
why should
Or do
we
you want me
pay
to
them
just roll and see what
we
happens?
don't need to pay them off.
You could do a rescue operation involving some horses and some carts on the side of a police station.
Do you agree? Would you agree, lads? I don't think we need to pay the police off for this. I mean,
Nah.
it was a pretty good score. I don't see any problems. I mean, they're going to investigate, aren't they? And that's what they do. They're looking for a bit of coin themselves, obviously.
So it's unfortunate that we pay our taxes to the establishment, and they still insist on quote unquote, with air quotes, taxing us.
Question though, Ben, Did you say in your devil's bargain that you use your real name on those love letters?
That was to a different person in
That
this
was to a
game.
different. That was to a different.
No, it's to a different person in the same house.
Yeah, in the same game.
Yeah.
Aldrich might have done that, yeah.
So I don't know if I can get to her. No,
Nah, I ain't paying
I'm
her
not.
off. Sarah,
We'll just go with the.
Sarah
we'll
ain't
go
gonna
with the
squeal on me.
and go.
I'm not going to worry too much about repercussions.
Oh, it's not that bad. You only gained 1 additional heat.
Oh, it's okay.
It's fine. We can just move the boat.
Reveals a little bit. She obviously reveals that maybe a meeting took
Beard.
place. Doesn't reveal with who.
she
So-
revealed that she met a strapping man.
Yes. And a few other
Fine.
people at the bar can confirm that the meeting happened, obviously, because there was some recognition there from people. But obviously, they still haven't got a clue who. So you've got a little bit more heat on you. But for now, you are safe. So after we've done that, that's just obviously mechanics of what we do after a score. We'll start the downtime, but we'll start the downtime back in the Devil's Tooth with Narcus. And he'll say, he'll drop the leather pouch on the table and go, I think we can help each other out, you know, gents.
Well, it doesn't seem to be too bad a payoff, Narcos. I'm quite impressed, actually. It seems a fair amount of money.
Well, no. I told you I wanted this. Holds up the charm. And I
Well,
was willing to pay
good
for it.
money.
I'm a man of my word.
You want any
That's
more
right, it's
buildings torn down? Because we're fucking good at that now.
I can see that. You see sort of gestures at a paper that's on the table where the headline is just demolished. Like it's sort of a crude photograph, Victorian era of just like a demolished building. And there's something in there about some horses that had to be caught for running wild around the city.
Well, small problem.
But no, I think we can help each other out in the future. But,
What with?
well,
Other jobs?
with us and you guys being allies. The idea is that we will assist you if you ever need it, but we ask that you do the same in return. If we ever come to you with a problem, we expect you to be there for us, but always feel that you can come to us with the same issue. You get me?
So, you don't want to knock my teeth out anymore?
Again, mate, and he holds up the charm again. This has proven your worth to me.
Well, I would love to be allies, mate.
Yeah,
What are they?
and he extends his hand to you at that point. He does shake your hand this time. And another thing that might assist you in any future endeavours. The tavern door opens at this point. You hear the door open from behind you, and you turn to see a familiar face. A familiar, quite young face. I believe the last time you saw this young lad was outside of Gaddock rail station.
No, it's that little shitbag, I say. He's probably the head of the gang.
Narcus gestures him over. All right, Cobb. This young lad here, I've known him for a while. I know that he knows what he's talking about. He knows the city, he knows the people in it. You're looking for another job, you let him know, and he'll put his ear to the ground, and he'll see what he can find out for you.
Thank you for the offer, mate. In fact, Cobb, was it?
Cobb, mate.
Cool.
Why don't you
Sure, hands in the
scamper off and
square.
go look for something for us now?
Now?
Yeah.
What kind of thing?
Something expensive.
You want... I thought I said I don't pickpocket. I wasn't lying when I said I don't pickpocket.
No, we want to find out location of something expensive so we can go steal it. I mean, acquire it.
Borrow. The word
I
you were
like
looking
it.
for
He looks at
was
Narcus for
borrow.
approval. Narcus sort of nods, and he's like, "Back in a jiffy," and he runs off.
So tempting to
then-
give him apprentice jobs to go and find a welding
At the door,
sparks.
he turns his head back to the table and he goes, "Catch you later, bro." No, not him again.
Well, it's been lovely doing business with you, Narco, but I have a delightful lady to get back to. She's been sat on that dock for a couple days now, and
Oh,
frankly,
you mean-
I think the
oh, you mean
engine's
that one
going to
out
get
there?
stiff.
He points at the dock just outside. That one out there.
Yeah.
We've walked around that dock quite a lot recently.
Excellent. So we'll do that for now. We can do downtime now. Like we'll do that was just a little scene that I was doing in between sort of the end of the heist and downtime. Everybody gets 2 downtime actions, and you can spend those in a variety of ways. You can work on any long-term projects you've got working on. You can heal if you've taken any damage. You can reduce heat if you wish. You can train, and obviously, like we mentioned earlier, you can increase the experience in different individual skills, or you can indulge in your vice to relieve stress.
I would like to indulge in my vice.
Excellent. So we say, anyone else indulging in their vice quickly?
I am.
Yeah. Why not? Let's give it a wiggle.
Yeah, we should rest and relaxation. I think it's important. Stage.
Excellent. So we'll go around. We'll just go around first. I believe so. We see with Silas and Aldrich, we see them both approaching the Harvey. Sorry, I can't read my handwriting. The Centurilla Club in Brightstone, quite upmarket district of Duskfall. You both walk through the door. What do you do?
Aldrich basically spends his time in the Cinderella Club, like rubbing elbows with the elites and trying to like get some of that luxury to rub off on him. He's obviously going to be spending his money on expensive liquor, and he's not going to be there to get drunk. He's there more to just experience the finer things in life. He's wearing his good bowler hat. It's not got a dent in it.
I'm just there to get drunk.
You're just there to get drunk, Silas.
It's there to get drunk. It's very important to get close to the spirits. This is the best method I've found. I start ordering spirits. It's the best method by a mile.
You are what you drink, my friend.
Indeed. I think I might try something with that kind of Russian vodka thing.
Vodka.
Vodka. Yes, vodka.
So that's what you guys are doing. Orlan, how do you indulge in your vice?
So Orlan's going to go to the soup kitchen and go help out at the soup kitchen with the refugees. And the first thing he does is when he first gets there, there's like a water barrel which people like wash in. And the first thing he does is he like pretty much like dunks his head in it. And you see as he pulls his hair out, like there's like stuff dripping off his hair. And like his hair that was dark to these guys is like now, because he's washed it, is like bright red. Like bright red. And he basically helps out at the soup kitchen. And then by the time he's done, he like grabs this stuff and like almost like grease and like runs it through his hair again. And like makes it so his hair's like dark and matted again. And like goes back to them. And then my second activity we'll do after everybody finishes their first.
Cool. So Giscard will go your lastly. How do you indulge in your vice?
How many stress do we lose per indulgence? Just one?
We'll do that in a minute. You roll
Okay.
for it, but we'll do that after.
Yeah, it's pleasure, but I hadn't actually put any thought to it. So, something.
There's a guy selling powder in Night Market.
Ugh, no, you can keep powders because they put all sorts of shit in them.
I love that.
Opium. That's a
The
very
guy offers you
Victorian
some and you
drug,
just
right?
fob him off.
Could go to an opium.
Only the
lab.
good shit, only the pure shit for me.
So mechanically,
Besides which, I'm an academic. I could just brew my own. It'd be better. Or to
Okay.
white that shit.
give it some thought, James, if you want. Like I say, we can always
the-
go back to
yeah.
the role play a bit later. Mechanically, how you
but-
relieve? Sorry,
Generic pleasure here.
Yeah. So mechanically, how you relieve stress is you take your lowest attribute rating, which is of the three different attributes, however many dots you've got in the first column.
Yeah.
So one for me because I've got insight and resolve with only one in the first column.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
probably be
lowest
one
is
for
2.
a few of you. And
What? Sorry,
There's
first
never-
column's like highlighted.
yeah,
Yeah, so what, you're looking for a total on each one of them?
Just whichever one's the lowest out of the three.
Oh right, 3, 2, and 0.
Okay, we'll just go for 1 then, because that's your lowest is 0, but you roll 1.
My lowest is 2, so I'll roll 2.
What's
Okay,
this
so you
for?
roll 2. So this is for the mechanics of how we relieve stress in this game.
A 2 and a 1.
That's fine, yeah. So you clear 2 stress.
Okay, what if I've only got 1 stress?
Just click.
Well, for now,
chill
we'll
as
say
fuck.
clear it then.
I got a 3,
How many stress did you have?
2.
That's fine. Technically, I mean, we'll go with 0 then. You've got no stress left.
I've got a couple of stress. If I don't know what somebody roll for me, I don't know what you roll.
Oh, we'll roll 1 for you, Sean, are we? Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay.
I'll roll it for you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So if I've got one with nothing in it completely,
Mm-hmm.
I can only roll a minimum of 1, yeah?
Yeah. You
Oh,
get
okay,
1 stress cleared, Sean.
1 stress clear. That's fine. Yeah. That's not too bad. I
I'm
can live with that.
assuming that's
2
2
for you.
stress.
The drink takes care of the rest of the pain.
So, that's our everyone's indulged in their stress as their first downtime activity. What would you guys like to do as your second?
I would like to work on my long-term project, please.
Go on then. You roll for that, so there should be a clock for it. If it's a normally you have a progress clock for a long-term project in this game, so you have a certain number of ticks, and every time you want to work on it, you roll a dice, and based on the number, you take a certain number of segments of that, and once it's full, your project is complete.
Are you thinking of working on the boat?
I am creating a Freemasons-esque society called the Inebriati.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes, that is stolen directly from a Mitchell and Webb sketch. No, I'm not sorry.
We do not care.
So what am I rolling for that? Like consort, right?
Yep. So roll your skill in consort, and then the success you get will tick off a certain number of.
Okay, so basically on the same night that I'm in that club, I'm going around trying to recruit for my secret society.
Yeah.
So that's a
You have
6
that.
and a
Yeah.
4.
So you tick on your progress clock for your long-term project. You tick 3 segments on a 6.
Tick 3 segments.
Where's that on the sheet?
It's second page.
Ah.
Wait,
that
how many
might explain
segments
why.
should this clock have on it to start with? 8.
Yeah, 8.
Okay. And I tick 3 segments. Cool. Alright, thank you.
Okay.
Ah, right. I found the clock thing on my. Sorry, I'm using someone's Excel Google Doc sheet. It's a little different to the character sheet you guys are using.
That's fine.
But I found the thing I need.
Can I go into my second time?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I want to train skirmish, which is a prowess thing. I basically want to find like either like a dodgy boxing gym or like a fighting pit. Basically, after helping out at the soup kitchen, a couple of days later, seeing that they're like running low on supplies to like feed the refugees, I enter a fighting pit tournament to like try and get them more money to like pay for food. So, and that's how I'm going to train prowess.
Yep. So you just train that. You tick so the top bar basically above next to the word prowess on the character sheet.
Yep.
You train 2 in that because you've got an upgrade in your layer.
Cool.
The prowess training.
Done that.
So that's you. So once that bar fills up, you are then able to tick an additional dot, attribute skill dot.
Come at me, you fucking pussy! I will fucking eat you alive.
Cool. Everybody leaves the fighting pits at this point.
He's probably facing off against a 5-year-old, as always.
So, Aldrich had brought someone to watch your fight. You just scream like he wants to get someone into the Inebriati. He takes like, oh no, mate, I know the guy who's fighting, and he's a proper stand-up guy. You say that, and he goes, you know what? On second thoughts, we're gonna leave. We're gonna go to the pub. This was a terrible idea.
You see me like absolutely battering this guy, like poof, poof, like on top of him, like absolutely demolishing this guy, running through him, basically.
Nice.
Cool. So you've got Silas and Giscard left. Have you guys got anything else you want to do?
Yeah, I'm going to start. I'm inebriated, so it's the perfect time to start it. Not expecting it to make any difference. I'm going to start on the attempt to. We said we wanted to make this boat more manoeuvrable, so I'm going to start formulating plans when I'm drunk for such an endeavour.
If this involves a JATO unit, you keep it.
So is this a long-term project of yours?
Long-term project to make this much more manoeuvrable, this vessel, so we can move it all around how we want, rather than the current ramshack dump that it currently is.
Hey, leave my lady alone.
I'm not.
So what are you?
Vanessa's a good girl.
Skill are you using to work on this project?
It'll be rough drawings at the moment. We're going to need money and specialist help long term. It's just to get the basics.
Okay, I'll let you just for free then tick one segment of your progress clock if you're not making an actual skill roll.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not expecting to get anywhere. It's just the start.
Yeah, fine. And Giscard, you got a second thing you want to do?
For the lack of knowing, what kind of things can one do?
So the other things that you could potentially do is you can train again, like we saw Orland do. You can train either in any one of the three attributes, and basically get an experience point for them, which you could later use to increase your skills.
Yeah.
You could recover if you've taken any harm, which you haven't.
Nope.
Work on a long-term project, or you could reduce heat of the crew. Fair bit of heat going on. Maybe that's something somebody wants to try and do.
It's time.
Just for clarification on the vices thing, if you've got a 0 in something, you roll 2 dice and take the lowest. Someone has just put in the chat.
My mistake. Thank you for clarifying, Ben.
It was just someone in the chat. It was Eschaton. Thank you, Eschaton.
Thank you very much, Eschaton. We will remember that.
Yes, we will.
What was that? Sorry, I missed something.
If you have a 0, you roll 2 dice and take the lowest. It's like disadvantage.
Right. It's like the normal roll for actions. However, I forgot. Obviously, thank you for that for clarifying, viewer.
And I haven't read the book yet, so I was never going to get that one.
No, that's fine. So yeah, the one thing you can do, James, like say reduce heat is a thing you can do during downtime.
Yeah, probably this time I will reduce heat because no one else seems to be bothered by it.
So you use your actions to do that. You use your skills essentially, and you make an action roll, and you describe to us how you are doing that. You say what skill are you using, and how are you using it to reduce heat on the gang.
Right.
I could help you with that, if that makes sense. I could give you a suggestion.
Yeah.
You could have a small wooden plaque made up that resembles a lamplight, and then go round certain areas of the city close to where the damage was done and leave the mark of the resistance.
If you got high in study,
I got
Fucking
one.
hope so. What?
so what you could also do is study some ordnance laws of that specific section of Duskfall and try and find a legal loophole in which we can legally pull down a building.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds way funnier.
Cool. So you're going to roll in study and see if you can reduce the heat by finding a legal loophole. I love tabletop RPGs, guys.
I would like to propose. I would like to propose a devil's bargain here.
Yeah, go
on. My devil's bargain is this: that you accidentally you make like a cover identity, and you accidentally become like one of the most sought after lawyers in Duskfold to like do with ordnance law. So we constantly have to like move the boat in order to like get away from like your like people trying to get you for pro bono work.
No one. If I've got that much of a reputation, no one's getting pro bono work.
You can take an extra D6 to your roll for reducing heat, but people are going to be coming after you for legal advice.
I've just realised what it is he would be called. Admiralty law. It's perfect.
He sits as advice bureau now.
Yeah. It'd be Admiralty law. Some loophole under Admiralty law allows you to bring it down.
So, Giscard, would you like to accept this devil's bargain for an additional D6?
Well, on the grounds that I've already done my stress relieving, no.
You don't take stress for a devil's bargain.
4. Yeah, you do. It says... Oh, right, no, it does. Oh,
no.
It doesn't matter, I've rolled anyway now.
Okay.
I misread it. It's cool.
Cool. So, if you roll... So, yeah, you lose 2 heat.
Yay.
Fantastic. You've reduced your heat level by 2.
Pretty good.
Winning.
Is it the classic of because we live on a boat, maritime law says that there are no buildings and thus pulling one down doesn't count?
It doesn't count. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're not going to.
We
How
are
do you think the
Watergate,
Swiss
please. We have no
dominate?
social security numbers. They can't. Like...
So you've reduced your heat. Unfortunately, you've robbed me of the opportunity to roleplay some people who are desperately in need of legal advice, and I'm not.
Yeah, but they ain't going to get it for free. They're going to get it for hell of a fee, so they can take a long walk off a short plank. I think is the nautical expression, isn't it?
That is an
That
expression.
is the
people
maritime
use.
law expression, yes.
See that out or go
Have to
fish.
hand out your Davy Jones locker cards when we see people, just in case.
Yes. So, after everybody has done their 2 downtime activities, we will pick back up at the lair for the red herrings. I don't actually believe we described on stream yet what the lair is. So, Aldrich, would you like to describe what the lair is for the red herrings?
So we've got this one very nice ferry that goes on the water, and that's what we've been using to like pot around the city. We've also got a second ferry because originally I was a ferryman, and it was my dad's business. This second ferry is sinking though, and has like a shack built on top of our house, and it's just like under a bridge, constantly slightly sinking. And that's our hideout. That's where we hide out. So often when we're planning heists, we just have to sit there and like bail water out the bottom of this slightly sinking canal boat. And the top of it has got like tarot cards like strung up across one side, and like arcane symbols from where Silas has been going crazy. But then there's also just like sleeping bags. There's like a Rocky style like meat hook with like a slightly rotting like bull's carcass for Orland to go a few rounds with. Gizgard has got like a chemistry set like across like a shelf, but it's like a really rickety shelf, so you see like underneath it like a bunch of smashed bottles, and then along one wall is like a bunch of bottles that are like clearly discarded brandy bottles, and a bunch of like labels for a really high end brandy, a really high end like brandy brand, for lack of a better term, that Aldrich uses to basically like fake nice brandy. So every time you see him like hand out fine whiskey in this game, it's actually like bootleg.
Very nice. So you're all sat there in your little barge lair, all just kicking back.
Can I say that we're not sat there, we're all trying to bail it out again?
You are desperately trying to prevent it from sinking.
High tide. Get it out.
You are absolutely not. Like, this is not a place you guys normally should come to relax, is it?
Can I make a
Reminding yourself
gizmo?
of it. You never listen.
Can I make a gizmo widget for this? Because
Oh,
it's a Stirling engine that sits half in the water on a floating tether that automatically just sits and
I like
just
to think
gently empties
it's.
the water out.
I like to think you've purposefully made it kind of shit, so that it only takes over from your bailing, and the 3 of us still have to bail.
We're in free play. I'll let you make a tinkering. I'll let you make a tinkering roll to try and create a sort of.
I'll take that. I'll take that of what Ben said as well. It's enough to cover
absolutely
my
brilliant.
bailing.
Let's keep
Yeah.
bailing.
You have basically made something that will do 1 bucket at a time, no quicker than you would.
Yeah,
but you're not doing it.
one person bucket worth of work.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and roll tinker for me.
Honestly believe, as I'm bailing out, that fucking thing's bailing back in. I don't think it's working.
Did you want to roll on tinker for that? Did you?
Say again, James?
Did you want a tinker roll for that?
Yeah, go on, roll tinker. Just see how successful you are at doing this.
3 and 4.
So what you've done is you've made this device. You've set it up quite. It's sort of a very basic sort of pendulum wheel that's got a bucket attached to the end. So it's
Stirling engine.
Water. You're inside the barge, obviously, and it's throwing it out the window. But it's kind of most of it's getting out. Most of it's landing on the deck. Basically, is what I'm saying. You look like you're bailing water out of the boat, but you're really just moving it to a different part of the boat.
That's fine by me. I'll go and do something else now while that's doing that.
I fucking asked you to do one thing. I asked you to plug one hole, and you're like, no, it will be fine. Nothing can go wrong, Olin. It will be fine. And
What's the problem? It's not a problem. We've only got another hour of this, and then the tide will lower. So don't worry. Just keep bailing. Keep bailing.
Look, we have to do this maybe once a fortnight for like 2 hours, and then we don't have to do it for another fortnight. It's fine. We don't need to buy corks. They're expensive.
My
Excellent.
fucking shoes are ruined.
Yeah. Well, you could always clean the blood off them. You know, that'll help.
Like he just like looks at you for a second, like, what blood? Like,
There's a lot of blood on those shoes, you know. Or it could be. Well, don't worry. The water will get rid of that. Don't worry about it. Keep bailing.
keep bailing.
While you're bailing, I know what I'll do with my spare time. I'll go and talk to the university faculty,
We look bloody
as
stupid.
I promised I would.
We look so stupid.
Oh, you're
for
going to
this.
just... We'll just say that happens, then you go off and you
Indeed.
go off and make your inquiries as to the continuing education of the 2 young women that we encountered in our last...
3. There was 3 of them.
3 young women, forgive me.
Yeah.
That are... So you make inquiries about all 3, and they are happy to accept them. Obviously, they will wait. It's not... They don't necessarily know if they will come, but if they do, they will be accepted. So you go off and you do that. As you're on your way back to the barge, Giscard, you're nearly there. You can see that you're still seeing water getting thrown out of the windows. One window, it's sort of going a little bit just on the deck. Obviously, you know what that's from, and you hear a little voice from behind you, like, "That's a fine piece of work you got there."
Yeah, fine craftsmanship. You don't get this. I tell you, it takes many years of maturing timbers to get this good.
This is Giscard on his way back to the barge, so it's just this is a voice.
Just me, is it? Okay. I will wheel around and see who said that.
You wheel round, and then you look down, and you see it's Cobb standing next to you, standing back, sort of leaning with his arms folded against the wall, just admiring the boat. He's probably been standing there for a good hour. He could have helped, but he probably didn't.
I blame him, really.
Oh, it's just fun. It's just fun sometimes, isn't it? You love to be near the water. Takes a deep, and he coughs because it's quite thick with the soot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's good for the lungs. This work, I tell you.
He looks at Giscard and he goes, "Anywho, I've got some info that I think you guys might be interested in.
Oh, really?
Well, you going to invite me in?"
Depends whether your info's worth anything first.
Well, you don't have to invite me in. I can just go.
What?
He's looking at you for a response now, Giscard.
No, I was wondering what Sean was saying for a sec there.
The more the merrier.
More the merry,
More
get
the
him on board. Grab a
Can I
bucket,
bail?
lads. Oh,
Not
Yeah,
bad.
all right. I'll step onto the boat and wave him down. As he gets in, I will hand him a bucket and point him over to where you all are.
You'll look at the bucket and sort of go, "Is there anywhere we can discuss this?"
Oh, Cobb, get down here. Come here, boy.
Look who I
lads,
found
look,
in the
keep
streets.
bailing. It's people like you that make this place worth living in. I tell you, just keep bailing. We only got to do this for another 45
Boy,
minutes.
you were going to eat me last time.
Now you're
Don't
fine,
think I've
lad.
forgotten.
Keep bailing. Don't worry about that. Keep bailing. Trust me, you're helping. Every bucket you chuck out massively helps.
Cool. So, to save the rest of the episode being a montage of us bailing water out of a boat, we'll say that we go for a period of time until we don't need to, like, the tide has gone down and the water is receding, and you all sit there, sort of
Oh. See that?
very
That's the
worn
sea air, lad.
out.
Oh, I tell you, the sea air, lad. It's good for you, isn't it? So much better for that 2 hours of bailing.
Yeah,
Cobb,
I mean,
you want some gossip water, mate? I'll put the kettle on.
all that bailing was very hard work.
Yeah.
Cobb immediately accepts whatever it is you offer him without asking what it is.
Tea.
One
Yeah, I'll
day,
get
lad,
everyone a
we
tea.
might own a place like this.
He doesn't. He's like, oh, and then he looks disappointed at you, like, "What is this?"
Gossip water. Tea.
I'll make it a Scotland.
No.
There you go.
You pull the bottle back, and he. Damn it.
That's enough.
Can I say
All
he's
right,
only a
then.
nipper? He can don't give him too much.
Right,
Right.
Cobb, don't think you darken my doorway without some information, so, please,
Oh, never, Governor.
regale me
We're
with
about, innit?
tales of
He
Dastard.
showed you the wrist with the tattoo. That's what we're about. Information. commissioning. Don't think I'll never go back on my word. So, he leans in closer. I've heard a rumour of some items of a similar nature to the ones that you would have found in that house. You're interested in stuff like that, the sort of weird and wonderful, aren't you?
Yeah, potentially. Sounds good.
I would rather not touch this. Yeah, like, but they seem interested. Talk to them.
Well, I love the oceans, me. You might have seen. I spend a lot of time down on the oceans. You know, them Leviathan ships, gorgeous things. Everyone, probably more Silas as well, would know that the ships he mentions are Leviathan hunters. So they are the ships that go out. The Duskfold is a city powered by ectoplasm, which is demon blood, essentially. Carry on. Yes, Ben?
No, I was pointing to my ectoplasm.
Oh, you're pointing to your ectoplasm light, right? I thought you had your hand up. The ships he mentions, the Leviathan hunter ships, they go out and essentially they go out, they hunt the Leviathans, as the name suggests, and they bring back the blood of said Leviathans to power the city.
One day, lad, this vessel will do that.
Well, I saw them. I was down the docks the other day, and I saw them unloading something that weren't Leviathan blood. That was something. I didn't see what it was. It was in a crate. But God,
many gods.
Those weird folks who take the dead away. They were there to collect it, and that's not. I've never seen. I don't like them, mate. I run the other way if I see them. I've never seen them down there before, and they were seriously interested in this crate.
Where'd they take this crate?
Bellwether Crematorium, mate. That's where they base out of. I don't ever go near there.
The boy's done well, I think. That's good information. We need to pay the lad.
I say, well volunteered, and slap you on the back.
Well, he hears the word payment and he goes, well, when he holds his cup at you again.
We have to pay the lad. That's part of the deal. Ah.
I might have confirmed that the female, but this is definitely an 11-year-old boy that you are now ploughing with spirits. So.
Listen, we've beaten up a young woman.
This is also a Victorian-ish era, so... Huh?
Yeah.
It will put hair on his chest. It is good for him. Does he want shashlik? And I come out with like, shashlik is like basically shish kebabs, like
Shashlik, they're good.
hot shashlik. Like,
Anyway.
When he offers like a shashlik for it, I just like kick towards him the bucket to vomit in afterwards.
Yeah, we can always clean it out again, don't we?
So you've been told that there is a chest of unknown origin and unknown contents being held in a certain location. Y'all interested?
I'm very interested.
Very
I-
interested.
the only thing that I hate about this game mode is we have to like agree to it before. I want to know shit before
No.
that.
That's
because
the beauty of it, Addison.
Yeah.
Don't think of it as a negative. Think of it as a positive. So now,
But
how do you want to approach this?
Orland fucking loves this, but me, I'm like, oh no, like the inner player of me is like, no,
We have to
tactician.
move.
Like,
We need to move quite quickly, so it's a yes from me. We should
Well,
get him.
Yes,
So,
Oh.
how do you want to approach this situation?
sideways so they don't see it coming.
That's unfortunately not an option you can go for, James. So
what,
you have
what,
to
are
have
the,
some
what are the
people.
ways? Assault, deception, stealth, transport. Can we transport? Like, can
So
we
that
offer? To,
transport would be if you personally were moving something from one place to another.
but could
Unfortunately,
we boost it in transit, like the Italian job?
It's already gone to the.
Yeah,
the
it's
place.
been moved from the docks to the location.
Oh, I
being
was
done.
hoping that they might move it again, and then we.
It
could
needs,
boost
I
it
think
in
this has got to be a quick stealth operation again. I think we need
Yeah,
to
this
get
is
it.
stab
Or-
it and grab it, man.
A cult.
Yeah.
You find some kind of ghost door or ghost canal to ghost in.
Is that a thing? I haven't got that on mine.
Occult is opposite assault.
Oh yeah, arcane power. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I just can't
You
read.
You can tap into some arcane power if you wish, but then what arcane power? That's the detail that we need. Is the what
So,
power?
We're
needs
going to have a bargain, aren't we?
So you know the blueprint of the city we've got.
Yeah.
Can we say that that also has some kind of like ley line based canals that like crisscross over the city in these kind of like arcane ritualistic patterns, and that no one actually wants to go on because it's filled with ghosts or something?
So they would be. We'll say that there are physical canals. They're not otherworldly, but they are ones that definitely people will avoid for the reasons of there is very haunted tales surrounding those.
It's like the river Styx. We're gonna fucking just see loads of ghosts in the water.
Interestingly enough, a lot of those canal systems tend to flow around Bellwether Crematorium. Never.
Well,
I
it's
want to
it's
take
very,
the spooky
it's-
ghost
if
canal.
you think about it, I say, if you think about it, it makes absolute sense because look, you charge a fortune for a burial service and you just dump the body in the water. It's perfect. It's a win-win. Win-win. These people are geniuses. Geniuses, I tell you.
I do
Yeah.
not. I do not like this. This ghost canal idea. It does not sit well with my.
Let me ease your mind. Let me consult. Let me just one moment. I go to the top of the boat, look out over the edge, put my hands in the air, then walk back in. It's fine. Nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to worry. This trip will be perfectly safe, I say.
Fine, you do. When this all goes wrong, I will save your life again.
Excellent. We all agree. Perfect.
Cool. So you're using an occult method, and you're using it through some canals, some haunted canalways.
Yeah.
Yeah, to like.
You're gonna
Are we
you're gonna
using
take
it
your
to
little
like
boat.
sneak in?
Yep, you're going to take your little boat through some haunted canalways. So, with that, we will make the engagement roll.
Okay.
Whoa,
Stinky
do we not
pinky.
get to plan first?
No,
No,
Ben.
you plan for
Okay.
I wanted to gather
was
some
gonna say-
information.
There is no
Does-
plan.
I
do that
haven't
during
If
gathered-
you want to gather
flashback.
information before the engagement roll, then what would you like to gather first?
I would like to. You know, one of the gossips I told you at the start of the game.
Mm.
Would that character, because he's both a boat captain and a ghost, know anything about the old ghost canals?
Possibly, but you wouldn't necessarily know where to find him.
I'm gonna
Divination?
go take I'm gonna go speak to some of the other ferry captains that used to know him, and see if anyone's heard anything about my late father recently.
Right. So the ferry captains. If you, I'll ask you to make a consort roll for this
That
because you
makes
seem to be.
perfect sense. Oh, we're already on the overlay for that. I never turned it off.
The overlay for what?
Dice rolls.
Oh, I thought it just had a spot for dice rolls all the time.
No, it goes away sometimes.
Oh, okay, cool.
I got a 2 and a 1. Oh wait, no, I get an extra dice for that because I'm consorting to gather information. So let's hope this is.
Got one extra d6 then.
And another 2.
You go down to the docks. You speak to some ferry captains, and they all look at you and go, "He's fucking dead, mate." Like,
Well
how
done.
the fuck would we know
Well-
anything about where he is now?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I didn't want to tell him before he left, but I thought the answer would be fairly obvious. It is his father after all, but he could go wandering all he likes.
Unfortunately, the consort has not been successful. You've lost your opportunity on that front to use that skill again for the engagement,
Yeah, that's fine.
to gather information for the engagement roll, I'm afraid. Anyone else want to gather any information before we jump into this?
Thought it might be quite interesting to have a devil's bargain here.
Yeah, you could apply a devil's bargain to the engagement roll. What would you like to do?
Purely because I do know that the canals underneath the crematorium are incredibly dangerous, but I'm not going to tell them that. The only way we're going to get through there is that I'm going to have to offer something in return to the people that, if you want, protect them.
Okay. So you would know a way to get in, but you know it at a cost.
Yeah.
Cool.
Whatever you deem appropriate might make sense.
Just so roll a tune just to see how much information you can remember about the specific thing you would have to do.
A tune. I have 2 dice. If you could be kind
Two
of.
dice on tune. Would you like to push yourself at all to get some
Is that
extra?
when you
Or...
add stress, isn't it?
You can take 2 stress to gain an additional d6.
Yeah, I'll take. I'm already slightly injured, but I'll take 2 stress to make it 3 stress. Might as well. It
Roll
seems
3
very.
d6 for a tune then.
This will be 3 ones. Just.
It's a 1 and 2 5s. So you've got there. You've gathered the information. You've managed to get. You know. So you remember. So you describe to me what would you remember about this thing?
the correct way to travel through the canal to get underneath where they want to go, and who to pay off, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
'Cause
that's fair. What you would need to, we can come up with that later. So you know now. So that's you've been able to gather your information about that. Anyone else want to do any more?
I'll pass that on to my dear compatriot drinking buddy. But I don't want to tell the others to scare them. But yeah, certain quid pro quos have to be paid. I've sorted it. Do not worry. It is taken
We have to
care
kill
of.
the Scovlin. Got it.
Don't worry. The easy bit is done. The hard bit comes later. But I'll leave the rest in your capable navigational hands.
Right. So, anyone else? Any more information gathering, or do we want to jump into the engagement role?
No, I'm good.
I'm fine to jump
Yes, but I wouldn't know where to go. So.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll start the engagement roll then.
in. Excellent.
One dice for sheer luck. Is this a particularly bold or daring plan?
Yeah, surely, because we're going like we're on purposely sacrifice, or we're on purposely going through somewhere dangerous. So surely, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say this is pretty bold and daring. So
Yeah.
one d6, one extra d6. So you've got one and then one extra. So
You made it last time, so you can make it again, Jordan.
is this an overly complex operation? Would you say?
What, navigating underground ghost canals?
It sounds
As in
quite.
just the entire operation as a whole. So the acquiring of the asset that you wish as well.
Sneaking
I don't
into
really know how it's
possibly
being held.
the spookiest place we possibly could in the spookiest way we possibly could. Sounds pretty complex to me.
We've
Cool.
got no idea
You
who
would
wants
lose a dice if it
these
is too complex.
Yeah, we've got no idea who wants these items. We've got no idea how to protect them.
Admittedly,
We can't-
we're literally doing a smash and grab when
Yeah.
we think about it in the
Okay.
basic terms of things. We're literally going in via manhole cover and then leaving via the same
Yeah.
manhole cover.
Okay,
I wouldn't.
that's fair.
It's
That's
not
not
complex.
I wouldn't
No.
describe it.
It's not like we're getting a hearse and dressing up as a, dressing up as Undertakers and then
made
storming the front, sort of walking through the front door with a quote unquote dead body casket, swapping the contents of the casket into of the crate into the casket, and then walking back out again after it's all done. No, we're going to go underneath and go and steal it instead.
Yes, spooky ghost canals.
James,
No,
where have you been? I can't do this. I'm done.
Does the plan
Spooky ghost
expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them at their weakest?
A vulnerability being the spooky ghost canals that they've failed to guard.
I think they were just relying on the fact that they are dangerous to guard themselves.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do that. You've basically gone. No one will ever go there because it's too fucking dangerous. That's a
Yeah, they've looked down the pit of glowing despair in the bottom of the.
Although I am going to take
train
that
of
straight off you
No, fuck that.
because
What's
is
the-
the target strongest against this approach or any particular defenses or special preparations?
Yeah, all the
Basically,
fucking
we're
ghosts.
going in pretty
Fucking
blind.
good. We'll lose that d6 from the engagement roll.
We're going in pretty blind. We're hoping that we can, get there without noticing. That's the.
All right, we should have just gone in through the front door, lads. We should have just blown the bloody doors off.
There's no rivals at play here, as far as you're aware. And then, is there anyone? No one's got any friends or contacts. I don't think that can really assist with this type of operation.
I'll put a silencer on the blunderbuss.
Do we get anything for having the blueprints of the city already or not?
I don't think so. I can double check that for future. We'll say that you know. For this case, we'll say that you know where to go, and how to get into this particular entrance.
This is going to be interesting, Neds.
No, give you d6 for that. That's exposing a vulnerability. We'll say that that's how you expose your vulnerability. That you expose their vulnerability by having that item. That's what we'll say.
Cool.
So we've got a total of 2 d6 on the engagement roll, gentlemen.
So you
So-
make that.
I will make that. Yes.
I have bad feeling about this. We should. This is not good.
For this
Well, let's find out.
endeavour,
Don't worry about the ectoplasm wildly flicking over the top. Go down.
It's a 5. We're fine.
Don't
All
worry
right.
about
That's a risky starting position. So you set
risky.
off on your little
Just
barge towards.
Just one thing before we set off. I should dress smart black.
dressing
Not
smart
necessarily
black.
their smart black, but a smart black.
Dressed in their smart black. Right. So you head off towards the crematorium on your canal boat. Not using a network of canals and channels that you know are not on normal maps, because you've got your additional maps. You've seen that these are additional channels and that they are avoided and they are scrapped from maps because obviously they are so incredibly haunted.
I imagine they're like underground canals, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've gone through underground and you've managed to approach. So we'll pick up the action. We'll jump straight into the action at the approach to where the transition of Bellwether Seventh Crematorium is. You know that beyond this point, you will be in the grounds of the crematorium. You're not quite there yet. You still need to gain entry, but you are almost there. There is a whole host of ghost field energy around you. You feel that, Silas?
Question. Can I do a flashback?
Yeah, you can do a flashback at this point.
So, would these but I need to know something. Would these sorts of people be like the people who go and gather dead bodies after a battle?
Not after a battle, after any death.
No, but I was thinking like maybe that I might not be able to do this then, because I was going to say that like I've met some of these people like during the war, like they came out, like some people trained in similar ways came and got like dead bodies from like the no man's land.
You wouldn't have met, unfortunately, you wouldn't have met people like this, I'm afraid.
I can't do it then. Fuck it.
Anyone else got anything?
Yes, I have. It's not that simple even from here, is it? To guide, although we can moor our boat, we still have to find a way up to the crematorium. It's not that simple. It's like loads of different routes you could go, isn't it?
So as I mentioned before, so what you're doing is you're approaching this field. You can feel this, Silas. The ghost field energy is becoming increasingly potent around you, and you are sensing this like it's a repulsive feel you've got. They are not happy. You're getting the feeling that whatever presence is here is absolutely not happy that you are here.
Can I try to compel? This is my special ability, to compel a ghost.
Yeah.
To comply with my demands. I'm actually standing on the bow of the boat at this point, feeling into the ectoplasm and trying to command this spirit to allow us entry. This would probably be the bit that really freaks out our Russian friend, but such is life.
What are you doing? Stop that! Get down from there! Like, put the horns away. Like, I don't like them.
Gents, I'm trying to fucking drive the boat here, and if your boat started right in my way, it's gonna crash.
Right, so this
here from the
spirit
front of the boat.
is
Left
going
a bit.
to, you're
left
going
a
to need
bit.
to make. You're going to need to attune to the ghost fields in order to feel this spirit's presence and to.
Yeah, I think this is where I've got 2 attune. I've already got 3 stress now. I think I'm going to go up to 5 stress. I'm going to take another 2 stress.
3d6 for your attune roll.
Yeah. And take the
So
risk.
what are you trying to get? You're trying to compel this
Compel
spirit.
the spirit to allow us entry and exit as we require it.
Okay, I will make that attune roll for you now.
We're probably going to find out pretty quick whether it wants us to.
Cool. So that's a success on your roll with no complications. So as this spirit, so you'll say this, as you all approach this barrier, you can feel that you're approaching, everyone else is just sort of sailing through a canal, that you can sort of feel this, you're approaching a threshold almost. You can feel this within the field that you've attuned to. And suddenly you can feel there's a physical presence there. And you're like, you're getting a real sense of danger about this immediate interest. So what are you going to do in that situation? You've got your success. What are you going to do?
I'm going to compel the spirit to allow us entry and exit from this area unmolested.
You sort of see this apparition. Everybody will see this if they're looking at this apparition. And then it sort of floats like in front of the boat for a while.
It'd be great if it was Ben's father.
And it just sort of moves off to the side. And just floats at the side of the boat now.
We're okay. We can move forward now. You're safe. Keep driving forward. We're okay.
I'm literally staring at this ghost like.
Nothing to fear now, my friends. We are safe. I say I'm very drained.
It's not got a face, this apparition. It's got a sort of weird shimmering outline of a shape, sort of vaguely humanoid shape to it. And as you're staring at it all, and you can kind of sense it's following your movements.
I take my hat off as we go past it.
It's ever so slight nod.
I eat the shashlik that what's his name passed on. Just like looking at it like, I do not like this.
I would join in with the hat off.
Excellent.
We
So
are.
you have sailed your little boat through. You're still in the canals, obviously. You've managed to get through this, but you can still feel this ghost presence around you, but it's not a dangerous feeling anymore.
Sounds good, isn't it? See, we're safe now. All we got to do is get the stuff out of there.
Yeah, I feel mighty bloody safe with that thing hanging about.
We're in the safest place possible right now with this thing towing along with us. Trust me, this is all right. You're good at this sort of stuff. Where do we go from here?
Right, so going through this canal, you can see eventually there's a small, like you could sort of wooden brick wall canal, sort of arched roof. There's a railing that appears and a sort of step from the side, and it's like an old jetty. These were once canals that were used, obviously, so they have their inlets and outlets. So you can step up, moor your boat.
Yeah, we will.
You spend the normal 15 minutes securing it.
Yeah, we really, really rush around the vessel as hard as we can. We might cut this down to 10 minutes.
You sense this, as you're doing this, Aldrich, you sense this apparition from before, sort of quite close to you, sort of watching you work.
I kind of like move my body out of the way a little so it's more easy for the apparition to see what I'm doing. As kind of like a sign of like respect kind of thing. So it can see how these things
sort of.
Aldrich, friend, help me with this. And I've got like a spare bit of rope. And basically what I want you to do is I want you to know the bit at the beginning of James Bond Casino Royale where he's got like the rope and he's like tied that knot at the end so he could like hit people with it. I want you to do that for me. I'm like,
okay,
I'm not even trying to moor the boat. Yeah.
We're going to skip over that. So you come out of the boat, you head off. There's a sort of small corridor you can head down, and that's where you would head to get into the sort of underground cellar area beneath the crematorium on land.
Presumably we're still underground, right?
Still underground, yes.
I'm going to take the ectoplasm lamp off of the front of the boat that we've been using and go first.
Because you want to do this.
Because I want to hold the prop that I made, yeah.
Excellent. So you've got a light now for the way, and you get to this door in front of you.
You've got a light powered by the blood of the ghosts that you're trying to appease.
It's Leviathan blood, it's all good.
Same thing. Right?
So you head in to. You've got a door in front of you now, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
This is what I was hoping for. Right, we're ready, lads. This could be a moment.
Listen into the door. Anything on the other side that I can hear?
Nothing obvious that you can hear from the other side. You're uncertain. It looks quite a sturdy door though, so it's probably quite thick.
Really slowly open it up, and I imagine because this is a spooky place that it's like creaking like really loudly.
Yes. So you do. Surprisingly, it's not locked. Probably because they've never need to guard this place, because it's so unheard of that someone would be down here. But yeah, you do open the door. It is unlocked, but it is making quite the noise as you move it. Can you actually no? We'll say it makes the noise and you open it, but you stay for a few seconds, and there doesn't seem to have been any noise. On the other side of the door, you come to a sort of large underground cellar area. And there are lots of, like quintessential. Think of it almost like a morgue. There are chambers along the walls, and there are implements in front of you for processing bodies.
How expensive do those look?
Before we do that, do we need to define our loadout? Was that not something we need to do?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You just need to mention: are you going light, normal, or heavy?
I've gone normal.
I've gone heavy
as well.
What's the advantage of going light?
Everything you're carrying is hidden on you.
Yeah, I'm going light.
Okay.
Can you get away with that in normal, or does it have to be light?
So light is concealed, so you could sneak into a social event. Normal is you'd look armed, but you'd look no different than other people walking around on the street. Heavy, you would be very
with kit
armed. You wouldn't be. It would not be subtle.
I'm going light.
I'm heavy.
Just because, in case we need someone to try and flag their way in, I might have to do that. We'll see what happens.
I
Right.
mean, that's why I've dressed in dressed in a black suit.
My garb is not too dissimilar to those that carry the bodies out. I think it would blend in well here.
Well, if I go normal, then
I'm going normal.
Okay, good.
Excellent.
Right, let's...
So we're now inside this underground, almost storage processing area for the crematorium.
We need to move quite quickly, gentlemen.
or I think they call it a morgue.
Sort of a morgue type area, yeah. Like crematorium is obviously above ground. The crematorium in Duskfall is quite showy. It's quite theatrical. It's
Centre of
light
town.
show, whereas everything that's important, obviously the meat of the place, if you will, is underground. So that's where you are currently.
So
you have still not a clue where necessarily this thing is, so it's probably going to be something you need to find out.
Well, there's no boxes here, is there? There's bodies, probably.
No boxes that you can see.
So we keep moving. Let's go move through this room as quickly as possible. Look for exits out.
Yep.
now, I would like a flashback
Flashback. Go.
to my father's funeral that obviously took place in the nicer part of the crematorium, where I just was kind of walking around, and I happened to see just before someone closed a door, like a place where they kept a bunch of super valuable items. Where is that place?
Excellent. So, trying to... take one stress for me. I won't make you roll because it's not necessarily a skill roll to remember something like that. But yeah, you would remember that particular item is up near the, if you will, the administration area of this. It's where they keep personal effects for essentially the deceased. And it's up near the area where after the bodies have been processed, then they are then taken up for the ceremony, if you will. And it's near to there that so you've got a rough idea where it is in the building. It'll be upstairs in the sort of ground floor area near one of the administration offices.
All right, boys, we gotta get upstairs.
Right.
Lead the way.
So if you're moving out of here, you'll have to move. You have to be sure you're moving quietly.
We'll do our best.
So nobody's got prowl, have they? Apart from Sean.
No.
I think I've got one.
I have a black suit on.
I have one in prow. I believe I'm the only one that's got any kind of skill at this.
Can we do a group roll?
You can do a group action at this point. So what happens
I've got
with the
no
group
prowl.
action? I think I'm not sure if I did it right last week. So here's how I'm going to do it now. Everyone else roll prowl as if you've got nothing, and you roll yours, and then everyone's numbers that they get from their rolls will count.
Can you push something that you've got 0 in?
I will allow you to push it and just roll one at flat.
I
You
think.
stress and roll one flat.
Yeah,
But for myself, I can just roll one dice.
I'm
Yes.
gonna push it as well.
Could you roll me
Yeah,
one
sure.
dice for my attempted prowl? I'm not going to push this. I'm just going to roll flat because my stress level's already high.
Cool. So I'll write down the numbers we've got. If everyone can just roll. Could somebody roll for?
What did I
No.
score?
I can roll for Sean. So it's 2. Is it 1d6?
Just one. Yeah.
Just one
If
DC.
you're pushing yourself, if you're not pushing yourself and you've not got prowl,
Sean got a 1
Oh, great.
Okay.
because I got a 4.
I guess I'm doing the take the
The
lowest,
stress.
so we'll take
you're
2
doing it
for me.
right?
stress
So because this is a group action and it's being led by somebody, then it's essentially everyone's rolls count. So the highest number forms a pool, and that becomes your pool. So your highest number that you rolled as a group would have been 4, which is
That's not
it's a
great.
success. So you are able to go through the area, move through this processing area to the bottom of the staircase, and then proceed up it. However, on your way up, there's a slight complication with your roll, because that's what obviously success with a minor complication. So the complication is stairs are quite creaky. Let's be honest. You are essentially that's basically it. You are creating a bit of noise as you move up the stairs.
Oh, I figured out how I can do. Right, I think I figured out how I can do a flashback to know what these fuckers are like.
Go on.
So, Scotland refugee camp. mother crying, holding obviously like emaciated child, blatantly dead, like having to like hand him over to these people. But like all like the Scotland men are like stood behind her, like watching what they do with the body to see what happens to it. As before they take it away, and they like follow it. They follow like the cart for like almost like in a procession for a while to see like how they prepare the body, if they use any like spirit attunement powers on it and shit like that. Because we're not very happy that they've come to take it, but
So
we
is
know
this-
that's like part of the. We know that's part of the like deal with us settling here. Like,
Okay, so this is a Scotland refugee camp in Duskville.
mhm.
Okay. So what you would know from that is that essentially the people who come and collect the dead in Duskville are feared among the citizens. They are not somebody that anyone really knows. They all are they're masked individuals that come only when someone dies. They're called spirit wardens. And basically they are responsible for taking the bodies and processing them so that their spirits are not released and cannot cause havoc on the living. And all you really get from that is, from your memory obviously, is that these people come, they collect the bodies, they take them off, and they bring them here. That's all you really get, because when they follow them, you're not sure what they do. There's not really any.
They don't do any like rites on the scene.
Not necessarily. They transport the bodies to here, and then that's as far as the memory takes you. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make you take any stress or anything. Just that's what you can remember from your flashback.
Okay, you see Orlan get a bit more like jumpy, like he's like more on swivel and on pivot.
Okay.
Let's
So
make our way up the stairs. Let's go.
we're now at the top of the stairs on the ground floor. Quite an ornate sort of processing. We're still in the back rooms. There are now offices for processing. There are essentially deliveries, like delivery areas for corpses, essentially, if you want to talk them like that.
Yeah, preparation areas.
Preparation and essentially administration areas. You can see, you've seen these areas before, Aldrich. You can you glimpse them on your previous visit here, and you know roughly where they are in relation to the administration and to the rest of the building.
All for the dead.
This place does not sit well with me. We should go quickly.
So this administration area is openish to the public, right?
This area is not, but where you know this place to be in relation to the rest, that's
But
the
the
area.
real question is, what time of day do we wander in? Did we wander in at 2 in the morning, or did we wander in at 2 in the afternoon?
Duskville's always kind of nighttime.
It's always
right?
nighttime in Duskville.
Mm.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Though there's going to be a sort of natural people day-night cycle because people have to sleep, right?
You will have done. We'll say you'll have done this at the sort of witching hour. You're at sort
Yeah,
of
the quiet bit of the day.
quiet night, quiet time. Of night.
Graveyard shift.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can go through the canals, because we were at the witching hour. Oh, spooky.
Spooky.
Which is kind of interesting. You notice there doesn't appear to be anyone around. You've obviously creaked as the door opens. You've made some noise coming up, but there still seems to be no one around.
At this point, I would like to fish out my Spirit Bane charm and put it around my neck.
Excellent.
Seeing him do that, I do exactly the same. Like, I'm like,
Have
you
got
know
one?
this place better than me. Yeah, I get one as well.
Ah,
You
nice.
tick those off on your sheets, and you now both are wearing Spirit Bane charms to ward off potentially hostile spirits. But we now, again, where would you like to go from here?
What
Towards
does
the
the spirit bottle do?
Say again?
What does the spirit bottle do?
Spirit bottles are to basically capture spirits within. You can use your power of attune and any additional items to basically trap spirits inside these little spirit bottles.
I have a bottle I'm fidgeting uneasily with underneath the coat, because there's always the chance that there's likely to be one around that we may need to get rid of.
Cool. So, given that you don't see anyone round, and obviously no one's responding to you, are you moving to the administration area? Are you trying to? Are you still trying to be stealthily and quiet? Or are you just going to try and normally move there? Still not loudly, but are you just going to try and?
I think I'm going to try and normally move there, but I'm going to make sure the group give me a little bit of distance in case I get caught.
So you're just going to go solo. At this
We'll
point?
hide round the corner. You go round there then.
It's not solo. It's like they can visibly see me, but if they're going stealthier, then I'm just walking down the corridor.
You're covering us. You're potentially covering us if you're making noise.
Yeah.
In a weird way, and we're just keeping back.
Yeah. Awesome. So you're heading to the administration area.
Yeah.
Cool. You get there. Obviously, you go through. There's just one doorway that you get through. It's the very basic. You can see the reception area where people would come and arrange for ceremonies. It's quite ornately decorated. This area, sort of carpeted. There's a chandelier above the main door, and you can see a doorway where they would head off to actually perform the ceremonies of the cremations. And then you see another doorway on the other side behind the sort of registration area that you know to be the door that you saw closed in your flashback.
I'm going to go over to that door and check for a lock.
Yeah, it is. This door is locked. You can see by testing it that it is locked.
Gonna whip out my tools then.
What tools
Burglary gear, I guess.
You what, sorry?
Picking my burglary gear. I'll have a lock picking.
Yeah, excellent. So you can attempt a finesse roll to pick this lock.
I am going to attempt a finesse roll, and I'm going to take 2 stress so I can roll 2 dice.
Cool. So it's a risk. We'll set the position and the effects. The position is risky, and the effect will be standard. You'll pick the lock if you succeed.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right indeed.
And you're going to take an extra couple of stress.
Yeah, I took 2 stress for this. How am I rolling so shit tonight? Holy fuck!
It was not like you, son.
In that case, I see you're struggling with a lock. I'll advance down the corridor and give you a hand.
You can take the cost of 1 stress to offer some assistance.
By that I mean relieve him of his duties of picking a lock and do it myself.
Okay. What I will say is you've attempted to pick this lock. It's very fiddly, and you've basically got quite frustrated with it. You're
broken another lock. Fuck.
You've not broken the lock. What you have done is you've not realised you've done it. You've got so fixated on your work, and you have whacked the door with your fist in frustration.
Made a lot of noise.
You tense. All of you hear this. You tense for a few seconds. And then you hear a sort of whistling noise coming from somewhere.
As in whistling for support and help, or just a random sort of strange low humming whistle?
This is a very unlike anything you've heard. It's a very strange noise.
I'm now getting ready
to
now getting ready with the bottle in case I need to move across, ready to capture said spirit.
So
it's probably going to be bad with a 2-hour sword.
So from down in the area before, the delivery area, if you will, there was obviously, like I say, it was a delivery area. There would have been some deliveries present. One of them probably was a bit close to its date, and this spirit has been disturbed by the noise that it heard, and it needs to know what's going on.
So it starts coming up hovering straight up the stairs kind of thing towards us kind of thing.
You see a very similar apparition to what you saw down in the canal area.
Unscrew the spirit bottle quickly and attempt to capture said spirit before it perhaps turns mean or raises said
I was going
alarm.
to say, I'm assuming that us normies can't see this. It's only the attuned, right?
So yeah, you can all feel something. There is a presence that you can all feel. Like I say, for ghostly spirits and apparitions are not an unfamiliar sensation to the people of Duskfall. But this spirit is now moving towards you, and in terms of interacting with it, it will be Silas who's got the most. No, he knows what to do in this situation. You all would be like, "Oh my god, a spirit." He would be like, "Okay, no, I know how to handle this."
I literally have to move into its path. There's high risk here, of course. I mean, that's the nature of these things. I have the bottle ready to unscrew and try to capture said spirit at the right moment. Could all go tragically wrong very fast.
Okay.
Many a whisper has turned into dust. I can tell you that.
Cool. So if you're attempting to capture a spirit in your spirit bottle, I'd like you to attune.
Yeah, it's going to be two. It's 2 dice. I've got 4 stress left. I'm going to use 2 up to have an extra dice, leave me with 2 stress. I've really stressed myself out on this mission.
So you're rolling 3 again.
3 dice, please. Yeah, because I think it's too important to mess around with. We need a success here.
Well, it's 2 ones, but the other one's a 6, which is
that's
good.
okay. That's all right. That was the whole point. Good job. Good job.
So you see this spiritual sort of ghostly apparition appear at the top of the stairs, and it's sort of I guess you're all looking to the area you can hear this whistling coming from. You all see this figure approach the top of the stairs, and then, like lightning, it just moves for you. You all see this move, and then you're gonna tense as you see this towards you, and then Silas is gonna step in, and he's gonna have his bottle ready, and he's going to Ghostbusters style.
Yeah. High risk, high reward. It either works or you fail miserably and you're in trouble.
So this spirit is now. So you've got this thing. However, what you can feel is that it is agitated.
Of course. Try to screw the lid on.
I
might need some help with this.
This is a newly released spirit, and this is not something that is going to take time. So I'm going to start a progress clock.
Yep.
At this point, a 4-piece progress clock. For basically, this spirit is not going to be This spirit's not going to be contained for long.
Okay.
So every action taken by the PCs, I'll take 1 progress.
Wreck, does that go against buildings? Like, is that the thing that I use against, like, terrain?
Well,
You can use it
before you try and wreck the door, I was going to try and open the door.
Okay, you go first, James.
But that does invoke the question of tinker, used for picking locks, not used for picking locks.
You can tinker. You can attempt to.
We're going to have to move quickly, gentlemen. Very quickly, I say, trying to hold this thing in. It's going to have to be quick.
Okay.
I'll keep this. I'll keep this here. You get what we need. Let's go.
2 and a 6 for using the borrowed tools to pick the lock.
Yep. So you've tinkered with the lock, and you take out your tools, you push Aldrich aside.
This is borrowing Aldrich's tools.
Oh, you borrow Aldrich's tools. Sorry, you push him aside, you grab out of his hands, and you go. That's not how you do it.
Come here. Let me show you how it's done.
I go, no, that door completely unpick it, and then it like clinks open.
Yeah.
Bull.
So with the difference, obviously, in the so you were basically trying to sort of you were very elaborately trying to find a certain angle for these, and you were getting, again, that's why you got frustrated, whereas Gizcard knows that this is not that kind of situation. It doesn't call.
I tell you, and I demonstrate, and I say, look, like this, click the other way to the way you were twisting it.
What you would have been tempting. He basically shows you how it's done, and the door is open.
All right, I put pat Aldrich on the shoulder, and I go, don't worry, friend. Sometimes it doesn't go well for us.
That's the second lock I've not been able to fucking open.
Performance anxiety happens to the best of us. Eat pickles.
So you've opened the door to the
wherever we are
administration area that you spotted, Aldrich. You remember that this is an area where they would keep valuables, and you also see that down. Like if you move into the room, you can see that there are there's filing cabinets here. There is like safes and boxes, named boxes for potentially for possessions. You look over into the corner and you see there is quite a hefty safe also.
Oh, I guess this is me again. And this time I'll pull out my burglary tools. And,
pull out your burglary tools this time.
Yeah, because that seems reasonable to use an item for it.
Hurry, gentlemen, please, hurry!
Cool. So I will say, you can attempt another tinker roll. Risky position again. We'll say standard effect.
6 and 3.
6 and 3. Second tick in the progress clock. That spirit's getting mighty restless.
Not
Can
long.
we,
We haven't
can we
got
like
long.
pour it down the sink or something? Get rid of it.
It's
Whack
that's
it
not
back in the
happening.
safe when we're done.
Not going to come back.
Yes.
So you open the safe. You look inside, and you can see that there is some paperwork in there, some generic paperwork, and there is a chest on the bottom shelf.
Yeah, I'll go for that. As long as I've just opened this thing.
Cool. The chest opens, and you can tell inside. You look inside, and it's not like anything that you have seen before, Iscard. It's
Okay.
something that has been recovered and brought here and is being kept here because this apparently was the most secure location that they could keep it.
Yes.
Well,
Walks
of
in,
course they
steals that. Bye.
So this was what they thought at the time was the most secure location to keep this. This looks like very ornate jewelry. They brought it here because it's very similar. However, you also recognize it. It's not Akarosi jewelry. Orlan, are you looking at the chest?
I feel as if I'd kind of like look at the like possessions, see if I get a nod of approval, then see him get that chest out. Because I was like looking at the shelf, look for a nod of approval to see if it would be okay to start sliding it into my bag, sliding stuff into my bag, and then seeing them all go.
Who were you
That's not
looking
okay.
at for a nod? To
Like
steal dead people's stuff.
Aldrich, because he
So-
seems.
Aldrich's already like pouring all of the little trinkets he can find into his bag.
Once the thing's open, I would go and have a look at it to see what it is. Is this Scotland jewelry? Do I know what this is?
You recognize this jewelry as being of Scotland origin.
We need to
So-
move very quickly, gentlemen. Keep going, but get down here fast.
Everybody, I think everybody's taken enough time. That's a third tick on the progress clock.
We
Is there
need
any
to
cash
move.
in this safe?
We need to get going now.
Take that. I will take that. Give
Pass
that
me the
here.
vial.
I'll carefully hand it to him.
I put the vial in the safe, and
Yep.
then I just slam the safe shut and spin the
Spin the
spinner
wheel.
and roll.
Okay.
Was there any cash in that safe? If so, I would remove it before.
Paperwork and then this chest.
Say again, sorry.
There was
Hold it.
paperwork and there was this chest.
We
Okay.
might need that. May not hold it, but we need to get going. I
Right.
hope it does, but it might not.
I grab some stuff from the shelf on my way out. I'm like, "Dude."
Yeah, so I've got like
I-
a sack half full of dead people's possessions.
yeah.
I placed-
I probably won't be stealing from the dead because I think
No.
that might be a little bit of a dick move.
I
Why? They don't
pla-
really use it.
I place one of my black lamps down on the floor and leave it here.
Oh, it's a good thing they don't know what fingerprints are.
Yeah, I know. The black lamp.
You grab the chest, Giscard. I
Yeah, he's
assume-
got
Yeah, sorry, yes.
Yep, you grab the chest. You have slammed shut the safe with this spirit bottle
I
inside.
haven't, Aldrich has, but yeah, let's go.
Yeah, Aldrich
go.
slammed shut the safe,
Let's go, gentlemen. Let's get out of here.
and you all turn, assumably, just to flee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need
No,
to move back
no,
to the boat
le-
fast.
Let's
Leave
get to the
with
boat.
style, I think is the right word.
We
Cool.
leave with speed.
You leave with style. Cool. So, what you have done, essentially, guys, because you've all now taken another action, and that has filled up our little progress clock. That spirit is no longer contained within the bottle, and guys, ghosts can move through walls.
I had a feeling that
Yeah, but
was
it's a
gonna be
spooky boy safe, right? If this jewelry was spooky
You
ghost
are-
shit, the
you
safe will be fun.
Oh,
Back the way you came, down the stairs. All of a sudden, you feel the same whispering noise. You feel the same cold sensation.
Keep
And
moving.
you can all feel everybody for me. This is something we haven't yet done. Take level 2 harm, panicked.
What if
Oh,
I've got a
shit.
spirit bane charm?
Yeah. We've got Spirit Bane charms on.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. So everybody who hasn't got a spirit bane charm on.
Oh, Ben! We're fucking here! Like,
So spirit bane. So you will. Everyone who hasn't got a spirit bane charm on, take level 2 harm, panicked.
Right.
Everybody who does have a spirit bane charm on it will feel the same sense, but then you will also feel it resisting you. Spirit bane charms are essentially Horcruxes. What do you call them? Crucifixes.
Crucifixes.
Yeah.
Can't remember what- crucifixes.
Very different from Horcruxes.
Yes,
Those are the words
rather.
to keep in mind. So they are essentially, they repel hostile spirits. So you all feel this session, and then you feel it withdraw from you. It's confused. Everyone else around you, you can sort of sense that you can sense some energy, some sort of a warm energy from the charm. That's kind of, you can sense that that's what's causing this spirit to repel. So it puts you at ease. Everyone else, you still think, obviously, that you are being pursued. This is hence the reason for the harm. But you're hightailing it out of there, I guess, aren't you?
Straight back to Vanessa.
Let us go, friends. Why do you look so panicked? What's going on? Like, let's go.
Agama, jigama, bye.
2 levels of panic, 7 stress. I feel pretty.
Feeling good.
Time to get out of it.
Right. So you head down.
Let's do a Michael Jackson. Let's get out of it.
Area. You head towards the back towards the door, I guess.
Yeah, the door on that boat we parked down there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. You'll head back. Yeah, you'll head back there. You'll feel this
Something's
spiritual
about to go wrong.
presence.
Something's about to go so fucking wrong.
So,
Get right out the boat, lads.
Aldrich, how securely did you secure the boat?
Like, I took 15 minutes. You know how secure you can get a boat in 15 minutes?
Also,
Yeah, man, you can secure
our
a
dude's
boat.
there. Our little spirit dude would still be there because the deal that he made him comply to was that we left unmolested as well. So
Yes,
he
but
wouldn't let somebody harm our boat.
Yes, but you still have a spirit pursuing you,
Yeah.
and
That's-
you
Oh,
still
shit.
have a boat in
Yeah,
step
it's not-
3.
That's not going to necessarily stop the spirit that doesn't want
Oh,
to.
So,
okay. Can
you
I
are
take
going
out my scary weapon as we run towards the boat and it's secured?
That's a phrase and an image.
Abby, what do you wish to do with your scary weapon? As
So
describe your scary weapon.
So
No,
my
I'm
scary
seriously
weapon
panicked.
is like a knuckle knife, cookery.
Glad you explained.
That's like a standard issue in the Scotland military, but everybody like fears them, like they do cookeries from the Gurkhas, and basically like it's just like this serrated, curved blade to help it like come in and out of people. It's got like knuckle dusters on the front, so that if you get into like CQC with somebody, you can give them a fucking tap as well if they're too close for the blade edge. It's just like this fucking gnarly looking thing. And what's better yet is you can fix it as a bayonet onto things. So, so it's basically just like my weapon, my knife from the army. And basically, I'm gonna just fucking sit there and saw the shit out of all these ropes. I'm like, I do not care for your fucking rope. You can buy more. Like,
That's pretty good rope, that is.
So you're just going to cut.
Not anymore. It's not. As I step over the edge of the boat. Onto the boat.
Would you say that you are cutting these ropes in a very savage and forceful?
oh yes, savage.
You being very, very heavy-handed with this.
Yes, yes.
Cool.
Is
That
this
would
wreck or skirmish?
This would be wreck.
I would say that seeing the other two panicked, I would take the stress for it as well.
Okay, so you're going
It's
to take
like-
stress to give yourself a bonus.
So that's 2d6s. Come on, boys. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Well, that's a good idea, I say.
While he's doing that, I've
Yeah.
started the boat, so he's got the extra tension of the boat pulling away from the dock as he's soaring it off.
Yeah, I'm on that boat. I'm not messing about. And I'm actually below deck. I'm already bathing water. I know we probably don't need to, but I'm getting
It's
ready.
not the barge. It's not the barge. It's
No, this is the boat that works.
rowing boat.
This is
I'm getting ready with a bail. I know what's coming. I'm getting a bail. Every man.
Right. So that's a success with a minor complication. So what we've got there is you absolutely go to town on these ropes. You absolutely hack all of them away.
What the fuck is with these knots? Why did you do this?
And then what you do, unfortunately, is you, in the sort of the last slash you do, you put a little bit too much force through, and you've created a small puncture in the bow of your boat.
Get bailing!
Told you. There it is. There's the water
Not
coming
so
in.
much that you are sinking, but it depends
Water's
on what you
coming
do
in.
from here.
I'll start bailing.
Cool.
It's coming in.
So, you what are you doing at this point then? Are you you're off?
We're fucking off, lads. We're
We're
out.
making the world's slowest getaway that we could probably out jog on the bank.
So, actually, I want to do a quick flashback to where I procured myself a bottle of ectoplasm. And I
Okay.
put it on a jar that's being fed right into the fuel tank. With
You're
like a
about to
little...
nos the fucking.
Like,
You just put NOS on this fucking canal.
yeah, I don't know if this will work, but
Take a single-cylinder thumper diesel engine.
Yeah,
It's just
instead of going at 1 mile
One
an
stress.
hour, we do 2
One
mile an
stress.
hour.
So you've got this item retroactively on the boat. You had to procure it, so take 1 stress. But yep, you turn.
At what point does the flywheel explode?
So you turn the boat, and this spirit, it's sensing this charms. It knows what they are, but it's sort of, again, this is a newly released spirit. It's very restless, and it's not really like it's pushing itself to ignore the feeling it's getting, and it was coming for you more and more. However, then you just down. The sort of the same spirit that was on the edge. You see it in passing quite quickly.
Jesus,
I like to
We've
think
got a lot of water coming on board.
yeah, I like to think it's made that tiny hole like a massive crack now.
So you head out. So this ectoplasm unit will say slowly expends itself, and you're able to get out of these haunted tales of the canals. You're on a normal canal system. You get out again into the open air, and then something weird happens. As you kind of all come back out into the open air, you hear several rather familiar clicking sounds coming from various places on either side of the boat. And there seems to be some sort of barrels strung up across the river in front of you. And it's a bridge, it's sort of like a tunnel entrance you've come out from under. And you hear a voice from above you going, "Excellent. We'll be having that, gents."
Hang on,
And
what?
that's-
Sorry, I'm missing a penny. What the hell are these barrels? How are they arranged?
They're across the river, they're blocking your way. And that's how we'll end for the week, gents.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, we got fucking baited into this, and I can't let this go, boys. I can't let this go.
I'm excited for next week to use some pieces of equipment I have.
Thank you very much for that, guys. That was a lot of fun. Quickly, before we do, one thing that we didn't do last week that we'll do very quickly now is experience. So, did anybody roll this week in a desperate situation? I don't think anybody did.
Yes.
No.
So
gathering that
we
spirit.
gloss over that one, and then
I say gathering the spirit for sure. I'm sure though.
yeah, there are some questions. Obviously, everyone's got a question on their character sheet specific to their character as to how they can gain experience. So, if you
Would I
all-
get it for? Would I get it for the rope on the boat?
So what was your question?
Every time you roll a desperate action. So would I get that for
Yeah,
prowess?
I never set the position. I never set the position or effect for that, but I would say yeah, that was a pretty desperate position.
So
yeah,
would that be prowess? Because I read
yeah,
that.
that would be a single experience point for you in prowess. I didn't. That's my fault. I didn't set the position or effect. But then everyone's got a list of questions.
Can I have you addressed a challenge with calculation or conspiracy for pulling the whole wall off that building by getting my friends to attach their horses to it?
Yes, you can. I will give you.
Cool.
for that.
Could I take technical skill for doing the 2 locks and making the doodad to empty the boat? That's got to go.
Yeah, so you can have because you did that multiple times. I'll give you 2 XP for that.
Booyakasha.
For-
And
for-
also,
Yeah,
you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Well, one drive would be education as an academic, trying to get the 3 students that have left to go and pursue nefarious activities back into education.
Yep, so that's
Given my background is labour ferryman,
yep.
can I have one
think
for
that's fair to
driving
say
a
with-
ferry?
Yep. Okay. Addison, did you have any?
So last week I did a lot of violence and coercion last week.
Mhm.
So can I get 2 for that? Because I had the time with the girl.
I
and
will absolutely not let you get away with not getting experience points for that, Addison.
Yeah. So does that go on my playbook experience?
Yep. So your playbook experience.
Can I also get violence for the boat thing again? Technically, because that's violence.
Yeah, that's violence.
And
Violence
then
and some ropes.
this week I did it more. I did the express your beliefs drives heritage and background. I went to the soup kitchen.
Yep.
That would also be a vice. So does that count as 2? Because that's part of my obligation vice.
We'll say it's you. So you struggled with issues or trauma from your vice. So basically, you had a bad experience basically with your vice.
Oh, okay. So that wouldn't count unless you count the flashback of the kid dying.
That will be probably more to drives and heritage background.
Okay, so would I? Because I meant would I get 2? Because I get the soup kitchen as well, don't I?
Oh yeah, no 2.
Yeah. I was going to try and push for 3 because I washed my hair and then I covered my hair, but I know
you can only get a max of 2. I'm afraid it's 1 for once, 2 for multiple times, no matter how number.
Yeah. So I think that's both sessions now. I've only got 3 left. If I can get 3 next session, I can get a new playbook ability, boys.
Yeah.
Make get Ghost Fighter at this fucking rate.
Addison, just quickly, sorry, we'll just do Sean before we cut off the stream.
You said 1 for the spirit to get it in the bottle. That was a high risk moment.
Yeah.
And I think it plays in quite well because my special is something about you when a timer comes on in a situation that's appropriate for the character, that gives you an experience point. So that seems like that's also appropriate as well. I think that's probably the 2 I think that makes sense for me.
What about last session as well?
Sorry?
We get last session experience as well.
We'll retroactively do last week as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we've done yours, haven't we, James?
This week's, I'm not entirely sure if I get any for last week's.
We'll say, I mean, if you did anything that you think would fit the background last week.
How many do you need before you can use them?
They tick
you need
off.
to fill the bar.
Which one? Which bar?
Bar at the top.
So,
Playbook XP.
Thanks.
So yeah, we'll do. That was done quickly, and that was tonight's Blades in the Dark session. I hope you guys enjoyed.
I did. Let's really quickly do shout-outs and plugs. We will start with our great Game Master, Jordan. Please plug anything you want to plug.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. I am Jordan, also known as Uninformed RPG. You can find me on YouTube. Just search Uninformed RPG. It's a new YouTube channel that I've just started, which is basically me talking about my experience as a new player. I'm much newer to this hobby than these guys, but I think that gives me a certain advantage. I know what it's like to be a new player in this game and how difficult it can be to start out. And I just want to share my advice and that. And then, yeah, there's some reviews and stuff on the way as well. It's all good fun. Go check it out.
Excellent, and then we'll go to the easiest one, as always, Big James. Please plug anything you want to plug.
I will plug the Loom. It's where I lurk. We play games. Come join us. It's fun.
Excellent, and then Mr. Sean, please plug anything you would like to plug.
To plug the boat, if I could, because it's always sinking at the moment. And it seems like the easiest thing to sort out. But I will say this: please go and join these gentlemen's channels. It's well worth it. And if you're a new player at GM, Uninformed RPG, surely you've got to go and support that. That's well worth it. I will certainly be taking a close look at the videos on there this week. So well done to you, Jordan.
Excellent, and then finally for you guys' plugs, and then I'll plug all my stuff. Addison, down there, please plug what you want to plug, sir.
So the Pod of Many Things is back, despite technical issues and bollocks and everything. We are doing our coverage of all the subclasses in Tasha's Cauldron of everything. We've got full episodes up on podcasting channels like Spotify and everything. But if you want to check it out in like smaller bite-sized chunks, you can look on YouTube, and we've separated it by class in order to make it a bit more digestible. And then the other thing I want to plug is the Loom, and thank Jordan for fucking smashing it out the park with this. I fucking love this game, boys.
Guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time to come play it with me. It's a real, I'm really having fun with this, and I hope you guys are too.
All right, I will now plug the things I need to plug. You can catch us here on twitch.tv/theflickeringtorch every Monday night at 7:30 British Standard Time for more Blades in the Dark Red Herrings. You could also catch the video on demand over on the Flickering Torch YouTube channel. There's also videos going out there on every Thursday that are like opinion pieces or reviews or whatever. You could also You can also follow me on Twitter at @FlickeringTorch. I think that's it. The Loom Discord server. You should join that and play games with us. I think that's everything. Anyone got any closing remarks before we sign off?
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah,
Hi,
thank
yeah.
you, Jordan.
Thank you, man.
Smashing it. Absolutely
Anyway,
smashing
I
it.
better get off. That's my phone, and I'll see you soon.
See you guys. Bye.
Next week.
TTF.